Hello and welcome back to Rage Gaming. My name is Hollow and today I want to talk about the Elden Ring DLC and the lack of it. For months now I've been anticipating the big reveal. Where and what will the DLC entail? How large is it going to be considering the massive size of the base game? How correct were my theories or the communities in general? And on that anticipation goes. Now back in September we had the Tokyo Game Show, an event where From Software has a history of announcing things that, well, we had nothing. Then another chance. Gamescom Asia in October, where we had the potential for announcements or reveals, but fairly not overly likely. I was expecting the Armored Core reveal here, because there was nothing at the Tokyo Game Show, but again, nothing. Finally, we hit the Game Awards, December. At this point, it is vital they announce something. It's been overly long. Everyone's just weirded out by the silence. We had that expected Armored Core reveal, and also an apology from Miyazaki to trust him that more Elden Ring is coming. But why? Why is the most successful From Software game getting no major content or even announcements after so long? Something seems to have gone wrong because it does seem like there was indeed a proper DLC planned as the first DLC for Elden Ring. And yet, after potentially a kind of problem, we had the Colosseum update pushed out as a free content update. Maybe that was to appease us. I was expecting that PvP update to come as part of the first major content DLC, but then suddenly, right before the Game Awards, it just drops with a day's notice. That was wild. But why am I saying that something has gone wrong so strongly? Isn't it possible it was never planned to be announced at the Game Awards? That maybe, being Elden Ring and the scale of that, the DLC is just taking longer than normal? Well, we have two strong sources that might suggest otherwise. Lance McDonald and, From Software themselves. Lance McDonald has been a consistent, reliable source of data mine information as well as behind the scenes details for all things FromSoft. With information that's been proven correct time and time again, I found him a very reliable source and one that I recommend to you to follow on Twitter if you have interest in the stuff. Which is why when the Colosseum update was revealed, the day before it actually released, I found his tweets on the topic very interesting. In the now deleted tweets, Lance expressed how he feels it sucks that this is the worst DLC From Software has ever released. That this is indeed their official first DLC content for Elden Ring. Even though it's very small in terms of content, even though it's free, this is their official DLC release for Elden Ring. Internally referred to as DLC 1, specifically by the team, and was planned to be this even before the game released. That's quite a bit of foresight on their part. Was it really meant to be this tiny content update after a really long delay and nothing? Surely not. Whether you feel the update is bad or good, I can't really do anything but agree with Lance that this is the smallest official DLC they've ever released for one of the games. And I say this as someone who, this DLC, the Colosseums, it was basically for. I play the PvP very often. I open up Elden Ring every week and have for months. I've been doing Souls dueling since Dark Souls 1, and so the arena update has been pretty perfect for me. Some silly new game modes to mess around with, test some builds in multi-target situations, the fantastic and purist duel mode where my opponents cannot physically heal anymore. More importantly, they can't Wondrous Physic anymore, which was always annoying when people used the ones that healed them, even though you're not meant to heal in duels. Though, of course, it's all self-imposed rules. And if your opponent does something, you can do it too. But it's nice not to have to think about that anymore, that's for sure. So, yeah, I'm a huge fan of this update. It's great for me. Match-made PvP in Elden Ring and the rules that are imposed in each mode, fantastic. But I know not everyone is actively PvPing in Elden Ring anymore or aren't really into that type of thing, so they've got to be disappointed. I agree with Lance that this is their smallest, with that context in mind, likely worst DLC. Now, Lance went on to say that in a year or two, he would be able to talk a bit more about what happened here, the behind-the-scenes details of this specific DLC and how this all came to pass. In my opinion, that implies something went wrong, that a series of events led to the ultimate sudden release of this tiny update, and the fact that it was free may have also been part of that. That speculation aside, Lance finished by saying that Elden Ring is still in active development, and we should have confidence in From Software. Now I've mentioned that, looked at that, and talked about all that, I want to acknowledge the fact again that these tweets were deleted by Lance. He's since apologized about his overly negative response to the situation, and I find that very respectable, but I understand the point he was trying to put across. Potentially that means he won't be talking about what happened here in a year or two, but I hope he does. Either way, it's quite a lot to chew on. Is it even true? Do the devs actually consider this DLC one? Did something actually go wrong? Is there even ever going to be proper updates for Elden Ring in form of real DLC? You know, look at their last game, Sekiro. That was lacking in that department woefully. Well, on that front, I think we have nothing to worry about. It was Miyazaki himself that said before all of this happened that updates for Elden Ring will continue. The development continues. We should expect more. Then at the Game Awards, during the speech in which Elden Ring won Game of the Year, as it absolutely should have, he said that more is coming for Elden Ring and semi-apologized for the situation, suggesting even that Elden Ring winning Game of the Year stands in contrast to his own feelings, that he wants to do better and release bigger, better projects. Isn't that insane? Elden Ring is an insane success, obviously, and it deserves Game of the Year in my opinion. I find Elden Ring a masterclass of reused assets, reworking them in clever ways from all the previous titles to be fresh, new, and relevant in Elden Ring, to then rework them further into content later with further changes instead of just facing the same dude, specifically the same dude 8 times in different places in the same way. There was genuine change the majority of the time that they reused anything. So I believe Elden Ring will actually affect the development of other large-scale games, learning from Software as the game industry has done many times before. With that in mind, I think it deserved Game of the Year for that impact alone, aside from it being a fantastic game. And yet Miyazaki aims higher and promises more and better, assuring us in fact more is coming. So I do feel lucky that we have that kind of dedication and passion to rely on, setting the standard for others. In any case, that statement aligns with what Lance has said, that more is still coming for Elden Ring and we should be confident. But what about the other part? That Elden Ring is simply DLC 1 and that's just a pill we have to swallow. That internally that's what they call it. Even if they planned it to be more than that originally, maybe. Well, that also seems true. One night, late over the weekend post-Game Awards, this appeared on what I believe is the current Xbox homepage. Please confirm that I don't have an Xbox. Elden Ring, The Lands Between DLC. DLC 1 and its potential official name, The Lands Between DLC. Within hours though, this was removed, never to return. Clearly it was an accident and potential leak of how the team, internally refers to this DLC as DLC 1, The Lands Between DLC, further aligning with what Lance said. So at this point, I subscribe to that concept that this is DLC 1, for better or worse. Could we have had the proper DLC drop around now if things hadn't gone wrong? Or would it have still come later and would have just been announced, the Game Awards? And what has caused this delay? I just have no information on that sadly at this time, but it really does seem like something happened. Of course, it's not like we had nothing from FromSoft at the Game Awards. We had the big return of Armored Core with Armored Core 6. I have the whole video about the details of that, what we can learn. It should be a useful video if you are interested in Armored Core, especially if you've never played them before. But I'm still very disappointed with this huge delay and slow pace. Comparatively, the older games have all had their DLCs either much faster than this or at very least announced earlier and then released within the year. Elden Ring is a massive game and we have always wondered what that might mean for the release time and schedule of its DLC because of the scale. So I'm thinking maybe that has played a role. But where does this leave us? With the big question, when will we finally actually get DLC? Now, based on previous releases from Software, I would have made the safe guess of late February or March as the release date of the DLC I expected to hear about already at the Game Awards. Now, though, I fear that'll be roughly when we get the announcement, and then the DLC will come a few months after that. So, pretty sad speculation there, but it's my honest opinion currently. It's a shame, but when it finally does drop, I know it is going to be great, and of course it's going to be worth the wait. But what do you guys think? Is there anything I've missed or anything you know that I've not talked about today? Let me know. For now though, that's the video. I've been Hollow, you've been you. Thanks for watching, I'll see you next time. Hopefully, we don't have to wait as long as we think we might.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.